Alright, grade 7. So as I said, we've got the dates, and we've got the heading themes, and we've underlined. Now, we need to remember first and foremost that a theme is an idea or a message or a lesson that our book or our story is trying to teach us. Not to be confused with genre. Genre is your type of book. So whether it is adventure, romance, thriller, horror, okay? Those are all your genres. So if we look at Whitney's Kiss, it would fall into romance, okay? And it's a teenage adventure, right? But those two things do not make up our themes, right? Our themes are what this book is trying to teach us about, what this book is telling us about, what keeps coming up again and again in this novel, what ideas do we keep learning about in the novel. So, today we're going to look at 3 themes, right? And the first one, very simple, very straightforward, is relationships. Okay, now we need to make a distinction here, because there are 2 types of relationships in this novel. We see romantic relationships and platonic relationships. A romantic relationship is the relationship between the boyfriend and girlfriend, Whitney and Lucky. Okay? There's romance there. A platonic relationship has no romantic feelings at all. It is a relationship between 2 people, like a friendship, or a student-teacher relationship, Mrs. Pillay and Whitney, or a mother-daughter relationship, Whitney and her mother, Mrs. Sotelo. So, platonic relationships have no romantic feelings whatsoever. So our friendship, we look at Lindiwe and Whitney, or Whitney and Rosie, and the other one is Sibongile, okay? Those friendships are our platonic relationships. Right, so our first theme is relationships. Right, so our first theme is broken down into 2, right? Platonic relationships and romantic relationships. So platonic relationships are illustrated in Lindiwe and Whitney's friendship, Mrs. Pillay and Whitney's student-teacher relationship, and Mrs. Sotelo and Whitney's family relationship. All of these are non-romantic, okay? They are built on care and love that is different to romance, okay? And then our second theme is romantic relationships, and they are illustrated in the love between Whitney and Lucky. Now, the most important thing here is that I put love in inverted commas, because what they are experiencing in this novel is not real love. It is what we call puppy love. It is the kind of love that you think you're in love, but really it's not about that. It's just about the attraction, which is what it was for Lucky in the end, as we saw. Okay? So, relationships. Platonic relationships are illustrated in Lindiwe and Whitney's friendship, Mrs. Pillay and Whitney's student-teacher relationship, and Mrs. Sotelo and Whitney's family relationship. Romantic relationships are illustrated in the love between Whitney and Lucky. Then we'll leave a line and we're going to look at our second theme. And this theme comes up about twice, maybe 3 times in the novel. It has to deal with the disease we're looking at in this, which is HIV and AIDS. Okay, this is the second theme we deal with, and we look at it twice in the novel in particular. It takes over the entire storyline. Okay? So HIV and AIDS is illustrated through Whitney's father's illness, or Mr. Sotelo's illness, as well as in Lucky's experience with HIV and AIDS, which we learn about later in the novel. And then I'm looking for one more theme. So grade 7s, I'll need you to put your thinking caps on. Think about the things that we experience in this novel and what exactly the last theme could be. Or Kuthe? Loss. Okay, there is an element of loss, but it's more or less just once. And in terms of Whitney being lost, I don't think she's lost so much as blind to what is happening around her. She's, I want to say, a little bit immature, naive, and gullible, because she just believes everything for what it is. So we wouldn't say loss or lost so much. What else could we be looking at? Kiara?
Friendship.
Okay, friendship is tied in with our relationship, so that would be us repeating ourselves at this point. But it is a theme that we look at because we see Whitney and the way her secret that she is keeping affects her friendships, the subsequent breakdown in her friendships, and what the result of that is. Okay? Zandi. Safety. Would you say safety?
Yes.
Okay, there's an element of looking at how safe you are practicing safe sex, right? But also being safe with the people around you. So we could look at safety. Rita? Trust, okay? Whitney's character is inherently trusting. It's who she is, and it's who she's always going to be. She trusts this boy, Lucky. She puts all her faith in him, and she believes him 100%, okay? And we watch how that trust develops. But we also see trust with Mrs. Pillay and Whitney. That relationship where she can go to her for advice, and she's open to that advice. So we could put trust down. Anything else that we think we could put down? No. Okay, so we've got two. We have trust, and we have, Zandi, what did you say? Safety. Okay? But because trust is a little bit more meaty at this point, it'll get us more marks in an exam, we're going to write that one down. Okay? Right, trust is illustrated in Whitney's character. She is a trusting, naive person, especially when it comes to Lucky. There is also an element of trust between Whitney and Mrs. Pillay, and we could go on to describe how they have discussions about values and how Mrs. Pillay is the person she wants to go to, and about how Whitney is always open to Mrs. Pillay's advice, but it's not necessary that we go into that detail at this point. Once you've got that down, you can leave a line and rule off, because that brings us to the end of our theme.